Welcome to Guzzler.
Right, so hello and welcome to Guzzler, episode 21, first episode of the year, boys. Very excited. Hopefully we'll actually manage to make, 52 episodes this year.
Hopefully.
To be fair, we did quite well last year, considering all the restrictions and stuff. I think we did alright.
We did. There was a point in the middle there, I say in the middle there, I mean about 8 weeks ago, where we couldn't record ourselves. We couldn't find any way to possibly do this.
No.
But we've got away now. We found our calling.
This episode should be the nicest so far of our remote episodes, to be fair, because Louis got a nice mic. I've got my mic back, and Deck sounded fine the whole time. So.
Okay. Yeah. Real.
Deck always sounded nice. I sounded like I was at the bottom of a tin can, but.
I realised I need to get comfy now because I'm not comfy sitting just in the middle of the room.
You got your mic on an Amazon box, I see.
Yes, and it all just fell over everywhere.
Everything has fallen over, yeah.
Yeah, it's on an Amazon box. It's on an Amazon box, so I can it can be more at my level.
And you're sat on the floor? You sat on the floor?
Yes.
Yeah, leaning against the bed.
Propped up against my bed.
I mean, it's not quite. We're falling again. It's not quite the nice, where we sat at a nice table. We all had a drink.
No.
We had Guzzler
With the pub
behind
atmosphere.
us. The nice atmosphere that we had. It's not quite that, but we're back. We're back.
Guzzler podcast.
So today, I don't know how to introduce it because I don't know what we're going to talk about. To be honest, we're just going to talk about some things. It'll probably be the most like a normal one of our chats that we've had so far on Guzzler.
Yes, it will be.
But I feel like we decided together we were going to save the big themes for when we can. Not that we have many left, but like education, religion, Conspiracies 2. Conspiracies 2 is a big one that I'm looking forward to.
Conspiracies 3.
Conspiracies 3, 4. We're gonna become a conspiracy. You've heard it here first. Guzzler is now a conspiracies podcast. We're just gonna make them up.
Like stuff like aliens and religion as well. We have to do them when we're together.
Yeah, so aliens, religion, education. Some of the ones that we said we are gonna do will come eventually. Exactly. So, the first thing I want to talk about is last night. Louis knows this anyway. And look, Deck knows what we're going to talk about, but not why. I watched a film last night with my girlfriend. She picked it. You can tell she picked it because I wouldn't have watched it otherwise.
Why did she pick it?
She's got bad taste.
Okay.
No, she's just.
But
to be fair to her, like the topic's really interesting. Like I think the film's not got awful. We watched Snowden. I feel like I'm beating around the bush here.
Yeah.
We watched Snowden with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
The Nick Cage is in it as well, which is just wonderful. I think she's just interested by the topic, and like she didn't know it was gonna. I thought it was boring as shit. I'll throw that out there. Have you seen it, Declan?
No.
Do you know anything about Snowden?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there was another film that came out like a year before, and I think it's a conspiracy. It's called like Citizen 4 or something. I think it won an Oscar for like documentary or whatever. But I haven't seen that, but apparently that's much, much better than this. And the reason I think this film's so bad, we'll talk about Snowden what you two actually know, but quickly about the film. He didn't have a very interesting life.
No, he was just a bloke. He tried to get in the army, didn't he? And then he couldn't.
Yeah, he like at the beginning of the film he like broke his legs or some shit and they kicked him out of the army. But like he did something interesting. There's an interesting story there, but it's all at the end of the film. Because his life, and then the rest of the film's like an hour and a half of just him being a guy.
That's like the film Sully with Tom Hanks in.
Oh yeah.
The great thing he'd done was The Miracle on the Hudson, where he landed a plane on the water. But for the other bit of the film, he's not landed any more planes on the water. He's just like
this is what I said to you earlier. Like if one of us three all of a sudden like tomorrow did something crazy, a film about our lives would still be dog shit.
Yes.
With just a little bit at the end where we do something exciting.
I don't know. I live a pretty sex, drugs and rock and roll life.
You sat in your flat, drunk.
Yeah, pretty much.
It doesn't scream Oscar winner, does it? Let's be honest.
I don't know. No. Depends who portrayed it.
Yeah.
I think Snowden was Oscar nominated, wasn't it?
I don't know. Maybe for the performance. I don't know. But I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know if it was or not. I made that.
It was alright. The other thing quickly before we talk about Snowden in general is he didn't have a very exciting life. But I feel like they tried to make him at the start of the film too special as well. I feel like they also made that mistake. So at the start of the film, he's like applying for the job. Obviously, he was like a data analyst or whatever, and he did a lot of coding. and they have like a coding task, and he does like that classic film thing where he finishes it like 2 hours before everyone else, and he goes to the front of the class, and the instructor's like, "You've still got all this left. They're like, you don't need to come and tell me every time you finish a stage," and he's like, "Oh, I finished the whole thing," and I feel like the whole point of Snowden was that he wasn't special. He wasn't like, don't get me wrong, he's obviously an incredibly intelligent man, and he did work for the government. Like, he's obviously is special in some ways, but he wasn't like insane Einstein genius who took down, like, he didn't like hack the Matrix or anything. He was just a guy who saw like corruption, like legal corruption, basically, and went against it. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly. He the thing with him is he's just a man. He apart from being in like the CIA or whatever it was, he didn't have any power. He was just a man. Like, you would never have heard of him before this.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's scary about it as well, right? Is that like he wasn't the top guy, and yet he still had access to all of this information, like people's texts and emails and all that sort of stuff. Like, how many people had access to that, and probably still have access to that information?
Yes, exactly.
It's crazy.
Yes. So I feel like we should talk about what Snowden.
Yeah, I've spoke a lot, so I'll let you. What did he do, Louis? What did he do?
Well, he worked for But it was a CIA, wasn't it?
Yeah, he worked for loads. He worked for fucking everyone, mate.
But he outed to a group of press. One of them was called Glenn Greenwood, I think. Greenwald, I think he was the main one. He outed loads of stories to this man, and he published it on The Guardian. And it was this mad story about how I think it was that they'd got access to everyone's emails and texts and stuff like that. And then everyone saw this and was like, "This is crazy." And then about 3 days later, Edward Snowden admitted this was me, and The Guardian promised that more would be coming that way. And then all this stuff came out about the fact that, well, wasn't he was the first person sort of to say cover up your laptop, like camera, because they're watching you.
I think he was one of the first, yeah.
Yeah, and then Zuckerberg went and done that as well. Like he covered his laptop screen over that because they basically said that they can track every single text message you ever send and look through your Facebook and look through your camera.
When he was working there, he saw they had a specific program that could just turn on someone's webcam without them knowing it was on. So like my webcam right now has a little light to say that it's on, but they had a bit of code that could turn it on and turn that light off.
That's crazy,
so that you wouldn't know it was on. So that's what made him paranoid.
Lucky CIA fella getting my nudes every day.
Yeah, exactly. You strutting around.
Well, it was from the National Security Agency, wasn't it? Which obviously, National Security Agency is something that we think is on our side, something that is there to protect us, like the security for the world. But actually, they're the ones who were looking at us and doing all this weird stuff.
But then, are they on our side? That's the question, isn't it?
Yes,
Should they have been doing this stuff? Because they got a lot of intel from it.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, like unbelievable amounts. Yeah, they said that they listen to every single phone call in America or something. That they have the ability to listen to every single phone call in America.
So, I think the extent of it that I didn't realise was that, like, at one point they literally had, again, they probably still have, I'll be honest, like, it's like Google, but it would just search through, like, texts and emails and stuff. So, like, all of your data was automatically archived, and then they could just type in, like, assassination, Trump, or whatever they wanted to search, and it would just automatically search through people's texts, phone calls, like, everything was just logged automatically and archived, which is kind of insane.
And they had access to Google, Microsoft, Facebook, Amazon, all of their personal emails and everything like that, because then they could see what they're doing and what they're plotting against and where the money's going and the illegal activity. Which in that case, it sort of is everyone else side, right? Because they're making sure that what's going on in the world is safe, so they're not making sure no one will assassinate Trump or, Jeff Bezos isn't going to do anything crazy.
Well, this is the argument: if you've got nothing to hide, you should have nothing to worry about.
Yes.
Yeah. See, when I think about it, I do think it is a bit messed up, and especially because obviously people didn't know about it. But then I do also think that they can look through my emails or my texts, or like they can look, like they do what they want. To be honest with you, with my stuff, but like it is an invasion of privacy, so I don't really know where I stand on it. To be honest,
it's when they admit to spying on. Well, I said they admitted. Edward Snowden said they can spy on foreign governments and things, which I think is that's a whole other level of privacy, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that was.
We don't know what goes on in the government, so for these just random men just to be like, oh look, Angela Merkel's on it again.
Yeah, they
That's
specifically tracked like Angela Merkel and all that sort of stuff. All of their phones were like tracked. I think that came out in another leak as well. There was another film that came out last year called Official Secrets.
Yeah.
With Keira Knightley and Matt
Hanks.
Smith. No.
Oh yeah, not Tom Hanks. What was I thinking of? Other post. Yeah,
Have you seen the Keira Knightley and Matt Smith one?
No, I haven't. No.
It was about the Iraq War and how it was like illegal, basically.
Yeah.
Because they like hacked loads of the people that like loads of the countries had to vote on whether to go to the war, and they like hacked officials, and they basically just manipulated the entire thing. And then another person, Keira Knightley's character, leaked all of that stuff as well, which was kind of crazy. My favourite thing about that one is they leaked some transcripts of like emails and stuff proving that it existed. When the media went to publish it, it went through an intern to edit it. Right. And I can't remember which way around it was. She either Americanized some British spellings or she made some American spellings British spellings. Right. So that meant when it went to the papers, loads of people didn't believe it. They thought it was bullshit because this intern edited it, and they were like, this can't have been from this official because this person's American. They wouldn't have used this word, or this person was British, they wouldn't use this word, whatever way around it was. So the intern just absolutely fucked it, basically. And she was just...
That's pretty mad.
But like, surely it's not her... This is one of the biggest stories ever. This is like official leaking. Don't put it through your intern, mate.
No, that's a very good point. Yeah, it needs to go top dog.
It's an awful idea, right?
War crimes through the most inexperienced.
Sarah's here for a week. Get her to edit it, mate.
Yeah,
before she goes back to sixth form.
Yeah, Sarah's not here for the week. Get one of the cleaners in. just let it go through it.
Just give it a once over.
Yeah, I think there was a thing called X key score. That doesn't happen really. It's something along those lines, and that's what they used. I've googled that. That's what they used to basically look at everyone's. That was their Google. That's what they used to look through.
Like that does sound kind of right-ish. There was loads of things.
Yeah,
is that what it's
X
called?
key scores and then.
They had loads of different systems to just check stuff.
Yeah, they did.
Which is mad.
When we said about that, something else that's quite similar to that is, well, firstly, Alf, you mentioned earlier about the fact, is Edward Snowden a hero or a villain? What are your opinions?
Declan?
Well, depends what you do. Well, to the American government, he's a villain.
Yeah.
But to the people who were unaware that their privacy was being, invaded, he's more of a hero.
I think that...
Not that anything can change.
No, exactly. That's the thing. That he's a hero, but now we've got that information. There's nothing else that we can do. They could look at me through my webcam when I'm getting dressed or whatever, but to them, they don't know who I am. I mean, they've got access to all my text messages, all everything I possibly own, but they don't actually know me. So even the fact that my webcam can be turned on to them, it's not like they're not gonna. No, I'm not gonna say that in case they listen.
Either way, I'm not gonna stop sending nudes. So
yeah, exactly. But like, I think he
care?
In an interview he had a really good point. I mean, Utopia had a good point because he risked his life. I hope he did it for a fucking reason. But his was just that like, things probably won't change, but at least people can actually have the debate now. So like, we can sit here and actually talk about it, knowing that it actually goes on, instead of the debate just being like a conspiracy theory.
Conspiracy? Yeah.
Does it happen? Does it not happen? You can actually say, well, we know they do this. Is it right? Is it wrong? But like, so many people still don't believe they do this, which is insane to me. So many people still don't believe they track us. That's why they think we need a freaking chip in the COVID vaccine.
Yeah, when we're holding our phones all the time, and that's where the tracking is.
Need a chip. They know exactly where you are.
Yeah, there's an advert. I think I mentioned this before on the podcast. There's an advert before when I go to cinema. There's an advert that comes on just for the film, and it says that there's more in your pocket about you than anything else. Like, they could take you home and everything like that, and they'll find out, certain things. But like, your phone is everything. It's even got your thumbprint on it, or your face recognition. It's got your credit card, debit card, your passwords, everything on it. There's something that the NSA done as well, which they had this company called Mystic. If you Google Mystic by the NSA, it's got its cracking logo. Like, it's got its own logo, like a wizard. It's mental. It's like some like firewall protector from like the early Windows thing.
How excited you are by that?
Yeah, it's mad. But what they do is they intercept phone calls from two countries. I don't know why these two countries, and they just store them just forever. And that's the Bahamas and Afghanistan, and they intercept them, all the phone calls, and then just store them, which is really weird. But they've got this cracking logo, and I just wonder why, like, the NSA are making this thing, and they're like, you know what we need? A good old logo for what we're going to do. But Edward Snowden now lives in Russia.
Russia, yeah. He didn't want to live in Russia, though.
No. But I do think that's mental. Like, of all the places you want to go, like, you know, they want you to be dead. Like, you've outed a lot of things. We're sending you to Russia. Great.
He was on he was trying to change flight. And then when he was in Russia, right, America took his passport off him. And
that's it. They kept him in the airport for like a month or something, didn't they?
Yeah, and then Russia were like, well, we're obviously not going to let you on the plane. So now he's just stuck in Russia. It's just where he is now. But his girlfriend's gone to live with him. And they've had kids. Sounds like he's doing all right, to be honest, mate.
Yeah. But I feel like if he wasn't being tracked already in America, Russia, like, that's probably why America left him there. They thought, they've got him.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, like, Russia's got to be not a bad place to be, because Russia hates America, right? And America hates... Yeah. It's like enemy of my enemy, innit?
They might be using him to help out.
There you go. Yeah, conspiracies. Maybe. Conspiracy theories, boys.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Stuxnet?
I have. I don't know why I've heard of that Stuxnet.
It's just a random thing. I'll just tell you about it quickly. So America, we're just talking about shady shit America have done now. With Israel, they worked on a program it was called like Olympic Games or something like that. And it was basically a hacking bit of software to take down Iran's nuclear facilities.
Right.
And it was basically just like a worm. And basically what it did was, so when what they focused on was, you know, in our nuclear episode we spoke about how they have to separate the useful bits of uranium or plutonium or whatever. Some of it's useful, some of it's not. Well, they do that in a thing called a centrifuge, which basically is just something that spins and separates it. But what the software did was it targeted that and just made the machine itself just fucking spin out and break. And they actually managed to destroy 1/5 of Iran's like nuclear centrifuges to just stop them making fissile material, so they can do fission or create nuclear weapons or anything like that. Which is just pretty mad and crazy to me.
It's mad
it's impressive though.
Sorry to get sort of like off topic slightly, but like the fact that we are one world, there is one known planet with human life and everything like that, and between each of these like imaginary borders, we're all just enemies.
That's what's baffling, because countries in reality are just bits of land that we've decided to put a border around and put a flag in the middle and say this is us. If you're not us, you're the enemy, and if you come near us, we're gonna blow you to bits.
Yeah. It's mental. Another thing I just want to say is that like America's just prepared to take down anyone if they turned against them. Like they're constantly putting like these worms and stuff. They're constantly infiltrating like Chinese systems, Iranian systems. Like there's so many bugs and stuff in other countries' systems ready for them to, if anything ever did happen. But like not just those countries. They've infiltrated like Germany and like sweet, like really nice countries, just like full of lovely people who are like massive allies. I would put money on them having something like loads of stuff on us if we ever did for some reason stop being allies.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy that and like the Iraq War, for example, that we followed America there just for like,
because we were told to.
Yeah, Blair and
they just went, you're going to follow us now. We're doing this.
Yeah.
We need some support. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's mad how they said, they're being done for war crimes. Yeah, but like they're not spending like years in prison, are they? Like Blair in 2018, was it 2018? He was voted GQ's Man of the Year.
For what?
I don't know if he was voted Man of the Year. Like, come on, like Blair. You heard Stormzy's new album. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's insane. What the frick?
But the mad thing I think about that is I always compare Saddam Hussein to Donald Trump.
Right.
Because obviously they tried Saddam Hussein as a war criminal and hung him along with some of his advisors because he was gassing his own people, and then Trump went and did it in the
You mean like
protest.
not like gassing them up, like
gassing.
Okay.
And then Trump went and did the same thing to his people in the protest, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yes,
he did.
yeah. Yeah. There's a really interesting thing that I found before on the internet, which is it's like some bullet points, about 10, and you're reading it and you're thinking, this is Hitler, this is Hitler, this is Hitler, and you get to the bottom and it's like, this is Churchill, and I think that's
crazy.
Because
we spoke about Hitler and Churchill before, to be fair, but
we have, yeah. Do you know much about Julian Assange?
Not really. I read about him recently, but I can't really remember much.
I remember, Alfie, that I was
also it was in a conspiracies book, so
okay, yeah, fair enough. Right. Well, yeah, I was around your house when I remember Julian Assange getting arrested.
So he's a WikiLeaks guy.
He is a WikiLeaks guy. So the idea of I wrote down something on it about what they said the WikiLeaks is and how they get the information. So they said that one of our most important activities is to publish original source material alongside our news stories so readers and historians alike can see evidence of the truth. Another of the organisation's goals is to ensure that journalists and whistleblowers are not prosecuted for emailing sensitive or classified documents. The online Dropbox is described by the WikiLeaks website as an innovative, secure and anonymous way for sources to leak information to WikiLeaks journalists. So that's basically what they did.
Wait, what? So they just have they have a Dropbox?
Yeah.
Where you just shove some shit in there, like
basically,
if you've got some files, just whack it in there, mate.
Yeah. Now, I remember when WikiLeaks first came about, and I thought that was absolutely crazy. And I remember searching it one day, thinking, how much this is in the news? They'd have took this website down, and it was stood up. And I found that so crazy that because really they wasn't breaking the law. I don't know how they got the information. I think that was what they were questioning sometimes. But it was just there. And one of the things one of the most prominent things that happened in WikiLeaks was that they had this footage, I don't know if you've seen this, from an American helicopter, and they just shot all these, I don't know where it was, I think it was like Iran maybe, they just shot all these people, and 2 of them were American journalists, with a camera, and I was like, you just shot these civilians and it's just being recorded on the camera of the gun, and I was like, it's an American helicopter, and it was put on WikiLeaks for people to see. And that's just
yeah, no, I read about that.
That's crazy.
That is insane. Isn't something happening to Assange at the moment?
So
tomorrow or something is happening.
I'm not sure. I actually don't know.
Something's happening tomorrow. I can't remember what.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Let's Google it.
Something to do with extradition or something.
Yeah, he's supposed to be getting extradited because he went to 2011 maybe. He went and hid in the Ecuadorian embassy. They gave him sort of like whatever it is. They gave him asylum.
Do you find embassies crazy? Sorry to interrupt you. Just that
go on.
You're in another country, but you're in the embassy, so technically
their land.
You're in someone else's land, so you're safe. That's mental to me, right? You're you're there, but they can't. I don't know. No, embassies are just mental, mate.
And he was there for 7 years or something like that. He was just stuck in the embassy, come out on that the balcony and stuff. And then I remember when it was getting nearer to the time when he was arrested last year, people were on Good Morning Britain, Pamela Anderson was on there, apparently she's really good mates with him, and she'd go and visit him. Which sounds dodgy as hell.
So weird.
And she was like, he's looking really ill, looking really bad. Yeah, because he hasn't been outside in 7 years. He's been stuck in the embassy. And then for some reason they said they gave up on him and they went in there and arrested him at some point last year. And they said they wanted to extradite him. Yeah, but they also said that if what he's done is right, then he can get a maximum of 5 years. I was like, he's been in the embassy for 7 years, mate.
That is a very good point, to be fair. But I did hear that he's ill.
The funniest thing about that story is when you say extradite, you mean just take him outside?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's what I mean. Embassies are mental. It's crazy.
They're not even flying him back. They're just going to walk him out the front door.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tomorrow. Well, we find out tomorrow if he's going to be extradited or not.
Okay.
We're recording this on the 3rd for everyone who doesn't know that.
So Sunday, yeah. They also published 750,000 classified documents, including Iraq war logs, which detailed the number of civilians, how many civilians they killed, which is crazy. They also published more than 500,000 pager messages and text messages or whatever within 24-hour period of 9/11 happening, and it was all these messages from like businesses and stuff like that about and one of the things they said, I've got a quote here. It says, "We hope that its entrance into historical records will lead to a nuanced understanding of how this event led to death, opportunism, and war." It's because that is not evidence, but it sort of backs up the idea of what we spoke about before about 9/11 and it being sort of inside.
I think the thing that surprises me most about whistleblowers and leaks and stuff like that is how it's illegal.
It's crazy, right?
You're exposing corruption at literally the highest level.
Yeah.
But because it is at the highest level, it's illegal. But if you were to do it in any other setting, like corporate whistleblowing, is legal. Unless you give it to an opposing corporation, and that makes it corporate espionage, and that is illegal.
Yeah, I agree. It's mad that the fact they're not seeing the thing that's illegal is the fact that they're like killing civilians and mowing down people with helicopters.
Yeah.
But they think the illegal thing is that you put that video on the internet.
Yeah.
Surely the law should just be if what you've exposed is illegal, then what you're doing isn't illegal.
But,
I agree.
But this is it, because there's no governing body in the world that has anything to keep them in check.
Yeah, exactly. It's accountability.
Exactly. Yeah.
So they can just do what they want.
It's another thing Snowden said. There's just no accountability at all. So it just spirals out of. This point's from Jeremy Johns, so this is not a reliable point. But he was just saying that like the government probably started off with good intentions. They were just like, we need something. Let's develop a bit of software to look at this person's phone. And then from there, it just like spirals out. Other people get involved.
Yeah, they got paranoid, and they're like, so we need to check everyone now, just in case.
And they've already made the technology for probably what wasn't awful reasons initially. And then all of a sudden, they're tracking everything from everyone. No one can hold them accountable. What happened? Nothing happens. It's just there.
Yeah, no, I agree. Another thing they published was 13,000 people's contact information who are members of the BNP party. WikiLeaks, which is
that's crazy.
Crazy, yeah. But so when he was in the embassy, they tried to get him done on 2 counts of rape.
I was just about to talk to you about this. Is the Sweden sex scandal thing, right?
Yeah. Now, do you know much about him?
The only thing I know about it, you go on. I know one thing. That's it. So,
so there's 2 that I know of. One of them is that he had sex with a woman, and the next day she asked him to do a STI test. And in Sweden, if you don't do an STI test after being asked, it's counted as rape.
Really? Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the second one was that he was taking this woman's clothes off when they were they're together, not together in person. I don't know if they were actually together. And he started taking her clothes off, and she was like, "No, I don't want to do this." And he was like, "Okay, fine." But then he started again, and she was like, "Okay, right." And then they had sex, and he put a condom on, but she had said that he had deliberately split the condom because, well, I don't know if she was pregnant or if, it ended up inside her or whatever. But he then said, "No, I didn't do that. That's not my fault. Sometimes condoms do break." And there is that argument that I'm not saying at all that he didn't do it, but there's also a thing that that if he is innocent in that, then that's the way that they want to get him done for something, don't they?
I mean, that's what he said, that it was just a thing by Sweden to try and get him on some other charges.
Yeah.
And then this was in 2010, and then in 2019 Sweden got rid of the charges completely. They were like, we're going to stop the investigation because the evidence has watered down over time. I don't know what that means. If you had evidence, you've got evidence, right?
Evidence. Yeah, but obviously, if it, I'm not saying that it's not. I'm not trying to, cause any hassle for this girl. She's gone through all this stuff, but if it's
this British podcast with 5 listeners ruined their life.
If it is true, then obviously he should be done up for that. But
obviously.
This evidence that's watered down over time. Strange, isn't it? Very strange.
See, the weird thing is, there's something about him that I just don't like. I don't trust him. I don't know.
He seems very seedy.
He seems very... Whereas Snowden seems like a nice guy who did a good thing. Do you know what I mean? Whereas Assange seems like
You're only
weird...
saying that because he looks like you.
Does he?
Yeah, if Snowden put a little bit of fluff on.
Oh, Snowden. I thought you were about Assange. Oh, yeah. Exactly. He's a very attractive man. That's what I'm saying. And he's got a very lovable, trusting face. Whereas Assange, he just, I don't know, I don't trust the guy, man.
He does look a bit weird, doesn't he?
He does. He looks like the seedy sort of, classic seedy hacker putting things out on the internet.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't like him.
The other thing as well, the other big hacking scandal that I remember is when, I think it's for
Louis, sort your camera out.
Yeah, I know. Was when the News of the World hacked all the phones.
Yeah. Phone tapping thing.
Yeah,
Piers Morgan's on that, wasn't he?
He was part of that, yeah. Sort of with it, just brush over that every single day that he's on telly. When Rupert Murdoch then had to close News of the World. And yeah, they find out all this great, like Hugh Grant's phone got hacked, and they found out so did McCann's parents, didn't they? Madeleine McCann's parents' phone got hacked and stuff like that. Absolutely crazy. Like how we're sort of just glossed over it like it didn't exist.
It's weird that Piers Morgan's got away with that. To be fair,
yeah,
that's why he blocked Jackmate on Twitter.
Yeah, when Jackmate put something to do with Piers. A tweet something about tapping, didn't he? And he said, "Usually it's you does the tapping."
Yeah, and then he blocked him. He doesn't like to be reminded of it, but he did it.
Yeah, exactly, and he should have to live with that exactly. Which getting reminded of it is a sort of big punch in the face to him, isn't it?
Talking of actually punches. I've got a funny story here, right?
Kind of like tapping.
So this is on a complete tangent.
Yeah. Right? Tangent, not even a tangent, mate. It's just this is off.
Different place. I found out recently.
Yeah, mate.
Right, and this is going to surprise you, listeners, because very, very different topic. Octopuses punch fish. Right in the sea. New research has just come out. Literally in this past month. Divers went down and videoed octopuses and fish because they hunt together, and the idea is that big fish will herd little fish into small crevices. The octopuses will blanket out and swarm the small fish and eat what it wants, and then anything that escapes, the big fish can have because they're injured and stuff like that. But what researchers found was that octopi or octopuses just punch with a tentacle fish, right? Yeah. Now they've got two theories as to why they do this. The first is that the particular big fish that they punch isn't pulling its weight in the hunting, so it just smacks it, get your shit together. The second is the funnier one, which is just spite.
Sounds pretty funny, to be fair.
Yeah.
Just spite. They just get annoyed some days. They woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and they just decide, you know what, fuck you, and punch the fish.
I like that.
It's an amazing story.
Yeah, I really like that. The thing that amazes me about the ocean in general and stuff is just how much we discover all the time.
Yeah, it is. It is crazy. The thing I find very strange is that the person who's gone down the deepest in all the oceans is James Cameron.
What?
Yeah, James Cameron.
Oh yeah, I'd have seen that.
And he went down the furthest, more further than anyone. And I'm like, there's all these scientists and all these explorers, and just like Avatar director who's been down the furthest.
And,
that's mad.
Another fun one about octopuses. Now that we're on the topic.
I'd also say very quickly that octopuses are my favourite sea animal. I love octopuses.
They fucking terrify me. I don't understand them. They're
pretty
don't
sick.
Make any sense.
They're like psychic and shit as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
There's that psychic that predicted that octopus that predicted football scores and stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, World Cup results.
Crazy.
But
crazy.
There's a species called the blanket octopus. You can go and Google it. They're really pretty. But the females are 100 times bigger than the males, right? And when they want to do the dirty, the male rips a tentacle off itself, which is just its reproductive organ, puts it inside the female, and then just falls to his death.
Is this a new discovery as well? Have they known this?
Nah, this is I don't know.
Okay. And this is known, mate. Everyone knows about the blank octopus.
Yeah.
The general reproductive idea, right, makes female octopuses go blind because the reproductive organs in a female octopus are in its occipital glands that control its eyesight.
Yeah.
So a male will just shove a tentacle that is, I guess, a weird penis into the gland behind the octopus's eye. The female will then just close the sphincter and break it off. And then it just keeps it until it wants to lay some eggs.
But how is that a good system?
I don't know.
How did evolution be like?
It kills them too. They only last a few months more. And female octopuses that don't give birth live for like years and years and years, but ones that do die very quickly after they've done it.
How do you... I don't know why I'm asking you, like you're an expert in you're not going to be able to answer this question.
You're going to ask James Cameron.
Yeah. So if I'm a female octopus...
Yeah.
And I have this tentacle/penis in my head...
Yeah.
And another dashing young suitor comes towards me out of the depths of the ocean. How does he... Can I get like a collection?
No.
How does he know that I already have one?
Well,
because you've got a
pheromones and shit in there.
Hey. You want Deck?
Pheromones and shit in it.
I don't know. I just...
The thing...
I know that they just don't do it twice. That's all I know.
The thing that I find amazing is the fact that as humans we're told, or like we're taught about sex education. This is like you need to do this to reproduce. But I find it weird that that a dog who may have never seen another dog before, can it just finds your leg and just goes, "Yep, I'm gonna have that." And it like instinct of like sex and reproduction.
But like,
I think that's crazy.
Humans would still know what to do, right?
I don't know.
We must surely, because humans were doing it before schools were a thing.
Test it out.
Yeah, but
when you have kids,
we tell each other, isn't it?
Don't tell
them anything, and then just let them out into the wild.
we tell each other that's what we do. But I always find it weird if like a dog's never seen a dog before, but like you just.
I guess you could take an example from third world countries because they won't have sex education.
No, but
their parents would still tell them.
Would they?
They can still communicate, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think humans would know.
It's mad though, isn't it?
It's just like impulses, urges, isn't it? It's like...
Maybe so, yeah. To go full circle, Declan, the thing about the octopuses, octopi,
He's really reaching for this league, I can already tell you that.
The fact that that we know this stuff about them, like punching each other and doing stuff like that, in a way that's sort of us hacking into their style of life, like finding stuff out about them that they probably don't want us to know about, and like we're finding these things
they don't want us.
They don't want us to know about, because we all know, of course, the first rule of Fight Club is don't talk about Fight Club, isn't it? So the fact that we've told everyone that, it's
seamless,
crazy, seamless.
You've taken us back to film as well.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, there we go. It's gone full circle. Cheers.
Incredible, mate. He's off. He's gone. No, he's down in some water because he's a little girl.
Yeah.
Well,
that's really nice.
The octopus fact. It was nice. Does anyone have anything else to add on Snowden or Assange or anything similar? Or
I'm going to find out something about octopus. Hold on.
I think
data.
This sort of name has sort of cemented itself.
You're another one I want to talk about quickly, actually. You know the Facebook thing? You know there was loads of drama about Facebook and... what was the thing called? You know where they got access to loads of people's data? It was really, really famous.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
What was it called?
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah.
Anyway, the thing that annoys me about that scandal, right? When you read about it, is... Don't get me wrong, Facebook kind of were in the wrong and, like... You know, it weren't great, but... It was an app, yeah? Mm-hmm. And the way they got your data was when the app loaded up, it said, "Can we have access to your data?" And people pressed yes.
Yes. And
then all of a sudden, this was some big hacking scandal. But the app said, "We're going to take your data," and people said, "Okay."
Yes. And the thing of it, isn't it, so they could get adverts and stuff that would sort of match what you like.
Yeah, I think some like slightly shady things did happen with it afterwards. Like, it wasn't great, but like it did explicitly say it wasn't like a secret. It was taking data. That wasn't the secret. It was like kind of what happened to it afterwards a bit. But like,
yeah,
Facebook's only job really was to make sure that part of the system worked. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not their fault that someone else then went on to do some dodgy shit with it. They just need to make sure that there's a test before they get access to your stuff. Have you found anything interesting, Declan?
Yes, I have, yeah. Well, apparently, our octopuses predate the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
But it makes no sense because they live so short. How have they survived this long? the plural isn't octopi because that's Greek and we don't speak
Octopuses.
Greek.
It's octopus, isn't it?
It's octopodes.
Octopodes?
Yep.
Nah, I don't believe me. I mean,
Conspiracy.
You carry on with your own talk on.
I think we're done.
I'm happy. I don't know what the I don't know what the theme was. Just
the name has cemented itself. I imagine the name this week going to change it now just to spite me. I imagine it'd be like Snowden, Assange, and Octopodes.
Yeah, Octopodes.
Apparently, they have 4 pairs of arms, not 8.
4 arms, 4 legs.
Yeah,
wait, what?
must be.
If they have 4 pairs of arms.
Yeah,
that's 8
16.
arms.
I don't know. This is just the website says.
Here's a fun one for you. In Finding Dory, Hank, the octopus, isn't actually an octopus. He's a septopus because the animators couldn't fit his 8th arm onto him.
Why?
I don't know.
What?
He's a septopus.
Shit animators, isn't they?
What about their system means they can't add another arm?
I don't know. I think because it was cartoon, I think his arms were like overly
Trademark.
big. And
it's quite interesting, though, isn't it?
Copyright infringement.
Yeah.
On an octopus. What is it? Octopodes?
Octopodes.
I still don't believe that. That's bollocks.
On Friday we have, for the first time, because we're obviously getting back into the swing of things, we have an extra that we haven't done in quite a long while, right?
Yeah, mate.
Do we?
Maybe. Who knows?
We
do.
One of our 15-minute chats.
Yeah. That we're about to have. Has Deck not been told the question?
Yeah, but I forgot.
Okay. Well, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. We've had, basically, how many have we done? 2?
Is it about octopuses? Because I'm winning.
We've done 3.
We've done
one
3.
About coffee.
Coffee was good.
Coffee.
Coffee, we actually did some research and we actually had
we've
facts.
done one about exercise and mental health.
Exercise was just an argument.
And if we age backwards.
That was just atrocious. So we've got...
That was dog shit.
I don't know. I'm hoping it's one of the first 2. I'm hoping it's not like the age backwards one, because that was atrocious. Yes. But we haven't done any research, so I'm hoping it's like the second one. We just have a big argument.
Yeah, let's hope. There we go.
Right, cool. And it is. Might as well say the question here, just to
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Get people excited. What was it, Lee?
Thanks. It was. I thought you to do it because I can't remember. It was to do. It was are humans better at creation or destruction?
Yeah.
Oh
are
yeah,
humans
I
better
remember
at creation
now.
or destruction? Yeah. Cool. Nice. Well, thank you everyone for listening. I say that. Thanks for us for making it.
Yeah.
We'll be back the show.
Sharing, please.
We'll be back next week. Who knows what the topic is? Who's leading next week?
Declan is leading next week.
It's me.
Well, I picked Snowden, and to be fair, we got an episode out of it. So
yeah.
Just aim small. Don't pick
next.
octopus. Aim small, and we'll try and make something out of it.
Okay.
Thank you very much for listening, guys.
Thanks for listening.
Adios.
Thank you for listening to this Guzzler podcast.